right? Up to here, up to here, whatever web pages we have developed are static pages. Okay. Now I want to develop a dynamic web page. Now I want to develop a dynamic web page. Can you tell me how to I want to convert my HTML web pages. How to convert HTML static web page as what web page? Dynamic web page. Right? Can you tell me? Answer. By adding user interaction. By adding user interaction. Right? How to add user interaction to a now your web page is a server side web page or client side web page?
Client side.
Why you are telling
It runs in web browser, right?
because it is developed with the help of HTML. HTML is a client side web technology.
Yeah.
Right. How to add user interaction to a client side web page. First of all, instead of that, how to add a user interaction to a web page. Normally, we'll discuss in this way, normal way. How to add a user interaction to a web page. For that,
By using CSS and JavaScript.
answer is
I think.
by scripting. With the help of scripting, we can add what? User interaction. User interaction to a web page. Okay, user interaction to a web page is nothing but providing the functionality to the web page. Okay, now we need to enter what is scripting. What is scripting? We need to understand what is scripting. Right. What is scripting? Scripting is a answer is scripting is a programming within the web page. What is scripting? Scripting is a programming within the web page. Scripting is a programming within the web page. Okay. Next, using scripting. Scripting is a programming within the web page. What we can do by using scripting? What we can do by using scripting? Come on. Scripting is
we can
user interaction.
Yeah.
Create responsive pages.
Add user interaction to a web page. We can add user interaction to a web page. Nothing but we can provide functionality to a web page. We can provide functionality to a web page. We can add user interaction to a web page, or we can provide functionality to a web page. Finally, we can say by using scripting, we can convert static web page as which web page? Dynamic web page. Finally, we can say by using scripting, we can convert static web page as a dynamic web page. So scriptings are Scriptings are two types. Scriptings are two types. Number one, client side scripting. Number two, server side scripting. Client side scripting. Number two, server side scripting. Number one, client side scripting. Number two, server side scripting. Okay, so what is client side scripting? So what is client side scripting? What is client side scripting? What is client side scripting? Answer. The scripting, the scripting which will execute, the scripting which will execute within the web browser. The scripting which will execute within the web browser is called as client-side scripting. The scripting which will execute within the web browser is called client-side scripting. To achieve client-side scripting, we have to use client-side scripting technology called client-side scripting technology called
JavaScript.
JavaScript or VB script We have to implement client-side scripting technology called JavaScript or VB script. Now, what is server-side scripting? What is server-side scripting? And one more thing, here using scripting, what we can do by using scripting, we can do add user interaction to a web page. Means we can provide functionality to a web page. Finally, we can say using scripting we can convert static web page as a dynamic web page. Here functionality means what? A, accepting input from the user. B, validating accepting input. C, storing accepting input. D, performing operations on accepted input. E, displaying some dynamic output and so on. Dynamic output and so on. These are all will come under. Okay. What is server-side scripting? Answer. Now you can guess, guys. The client-side scripting means which will execute within the web browser. Then what do you mean by server-side scripting? Can you guess?
Scripting which executes within web server.
The scripting which will execute within the web server is called as server-side scripting. Scripting which will execute within the web server is called server-side scripting. Right. How to here what we have done. How to achieve server-side scripting. we have to use server-side scripting technology, that is
ASP.NET JSP.
ASP,
HP.
ASP.NET, JSP, PHP, and so on. PHP and so on. PHP and so on. To achieve server-side scripting, we have to use server-side scripting technology, that is ASP, ASP.NET, JSP, PHP, etc. and so on. Okay. So this is called server-side scripting. Okay, right. Next to, yeah. Finally, whatever I have discussed up to here, you have to go through like anything. Right. Did you receive chart, guys? Did you receive chart?
No.
Yeah. Now received.
Yes.
Yes.
A to Z. Did you receive? Check it. What is?
Yes, sir.
No, full content you received.
Scripting
Mhm.
until client side scripting came.
Yeah. Last question is how to. What is client scripting? Huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Only question.
I'm sending again. Again, scriptings are two types. And in this, what is client-side scripting? I have sent to you just now. Next, I'm sending second part. Saying there is a limitation for. Now you received A to Z. Go through like anything. Come on, guys. All of you. Right, go through it, clearly go through it. Very, very important, because next we are going to discuss about this one only. Right. So, right, guys, tell me. Yeah, right. How to convert a static web page as a dynamic web page?
By adding user interaction.
Yeah. How to add user interaction to your web page with the help of
Scripting.
scripting. What is scripting?
Scripting is a program within the web page.
Scripting is the programming within the web page. Yeah.
Page.
Okay. What we can do by using scripting?
We can add user interaction to the web page.
Yeah.
We can provide functionality to the web page.
We can
We can provide functionality to the web page.
functionality means
Input from the user, validating the input, storing it,
functionality.
and performing operations on the stored input, displaying result to the output.
Right. Finally, we can say using scripting, we can convert static web page as a
Dynamic
Dynamic
web
page.
page.
dynamic web page. Scriptings are how many types?
Two types.
Number one, client side scripting. Number two, server side scripting.
Server-side scripting.
Right. Now, Snehal, tell me, what is client side scripting? Right. Snehal, what is client side scripting?
Client-side scripting is the scripting which will execute in the web browser.
Is called client side scripting. Okay. Right. To achieve client side scripting, we have to use client side scripting technology. Can you give me some examples of client side scripting technologies?
JavaScript, jQuery,
Right. And what is server-side
JS.
scripting? Wait. When I am ask question to somebody, remaining people should not respond. Right. Punya, tell me, what is server-side scripting? What is server-side scripting? Punya. Right. Shavanti, tell me, what is server-side scripting?
The scripting which is executed within the web server is called as server-side scripting.
Right. How to achieve server-side scripting?
To achieve server-side scripting, we have to use server-side scripting technology. ASP, ASP.NET, JSP, PHP, like.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So now our now we are adding scripting to client side page or server side page or aim.
Uh,
Right now you are going to add scripting to
Both.
HTML page or ASP.NET page.
Right now we are adding to
That's why we'll go for client-side scripting. So that we'll see later. Okay, first we need to understand one thing, that is in this using scripting we can add the user interaction, and we said we can provide function, we can add user interaction to a web page, or we can provide a functionality to a web page. Functionality means we have taken so many points here. Among all the points right now, we will consider one thing, that is validating accepting the user input. Validating the accepting user input is nothing but performing what? Validations.
Operation.
Validation.
Validation. What is this validation? Now we need to understand one important point. Whenever you are developing a web page, when you will go for client-side scripting, when you will go for server-side scripting, you need to understand you are developing a web page. In that web page, when you will implement client-side scripting, when you will implement server-side scripting, you want to finalize. Because as a developer, when you are developing a tomorrow ASP.NET, right now you are developing HTML web page. When you are developing HTML web page, you have a chance to use only client-side scripting. But our ultimate aim is to develop a server-side web page called what? ASP.NET. Because ASP.NET code will execute within the web server. So that is server-side web page. In that server-side web page, you can implement client-side scripting. You can implement server-side scripting. If you want to implement client-side scripting, you will go for what? JavaScript. Server-side scripting means ASP.NET. Here my question is, you need to understand as a developer when we will go for client-side scripting and when we will go for server-side scripting. So that clarity should be there for the developer. To understand that clarity, instead of all these options, I'm taking this one. Based on this, we can understand when we can go for client-side scripting, when we'll go for server-side scripting. So finally, using scripting, you can perform validations also. So validations is easy to understand too, as in this level too, when we can take a decision to go for client-side or server-side scripting. So if you want to understand this, first we need to understand what is a validation. What is a validation? What is a validation? What is a validation? Come on, tell me. Validation is a
Acceptable
Process
input.
of verifying the user input.
validation is a process of verifying the
User input with
user.
specified.
Validation is a process of verifying the user input. So for example for validations. Example for validations. Come on. Number one, username is empty or not. Suppose whenever you entered into Gmail, want to use Gmail, login page you will get. Login page you will have how many text boxes? How many text boxes?
2.
You need to enter how many inputs?
2. Username and password.
Right, I didn't enter username. And I click login button. What it will say? Please enter what? Username. Please enter what? Username. Can I say is it a validation or not?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's
sir.
what input is empty or not. Input is empty or not. Now as well, I entered username, I entered password. Both should not be empty. Suppose I entered my email ID with a email ID, input should email. I entered my username, but it should match with what? Database. Okay, input should be valid input. So and validating email ID. Validating email ID. Suppose you have to enter phone number in some text box. but you have to enter 9, 8, 6 like this, but you are entering ABCD. Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
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 These are all called as what? Validations. How to achieve these validations? With the help of? With the help of? Scripting.
Client side.
No. With the help of scripting. With scripting we don't know, but with
Okay.
the help of what? Scripting. You can achieve all these things with the help of what? Scripting. Okay. Suppose, right. Let's take one login page. Let's take one example of login page. Okay, login page. Login page example. Let's take Gmail login page example, then we'll understand how many validations are there like that. Suppose you have a web page. Let's take a normal web page, a login page. Login page. This is your login page. Let's identify the validations in the login page. How many text boxes will be there for a normal login page?
2.
2. First text box to accept what? User ID. Second text box to accept what?
Pass.
Password. And here you have a button. What is this button?
Login.
You have a button. What is the button? Login. Login button. Okay. Here you will have a database. Here you will have a database. Database maintain what? A table.
Table.
Table. Which table?
User information.
1 minute. Users table. Users table it will maintain. And that in this table, let us assume minimum columns are 2. Number 1, user ID. Let's say number 2 is what? Password. Rama, ABC, and so on. N number of users list will be there in this table. Okay. Now tell me, how many validations are there for this login page?
2.
Total number.
Validation.
2.
If you are a developer for this login page, how many validations are there?
4.
Tell me, what are they?
It's required field required validation like a
Forget
they
about
need to
I am asking a normal way. How many validations are there for this?
2.
2.
Right. One is listen. You take a pen and paper, all of you guys. Take pen and paper and draw this fast. Yeah, taken all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, now how many validations are there? Number 1, record. Username should not be empty. Suppose I didn't enter any username and I click a login button. Here I want to display a message. What is the message generally I will get? Please enter username. Now I entered some username, some XYZ I entered, and I click login button. Then what is the validation message I will get? Please enter.
Invalid username.
Please enter password. Please enter password. Number 3. Please enter password, because username should not be empty. Password should not be empty. Up to here, how many validations?
validation.
Right. Have you written on paper the 2 validations, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Next, user entered Rama username, and user has to enter password as what?
ABC.
But he entered password as 1, 2, 3. Valida, invalida?
Invalid.
Invalid.
You will click login button. Then this code will communicate what? Database. Will verify the Rama 1, 2, 3 ABC. Matched or not matched?
Not matched.
Immediately it will display invalid user ID password. Please enter valid user ID and password message you will get. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is third validation. Third validation is what? Verifying the username and password with what? Database. Write that point also. Verifying the username and password with what? Database. Verifying the username and password with what? Database. Verifying the username and password with what? Database. Right. Database. So this is the story. Now you can observe this. Right. So how many validations we are identified here?
3.
Three validations. Number one,
Username
You
should not be
empty.
empty.
Number two, password should not be, username text box should not be empty. Whenever you click login button. Second, whenever you click login button, password text box should not be
Empty.
empty. If both are having some input, that user ID and password should match with
Database.
database. Should match with what? Database. So total number of validations are how many, Sandeep? Total number of validations are how many? Right. Three. Okay, na? Right. Now we need to find a very important topic is going on. Try to concentrate. We need to find which validation among these three, which validation we have to go for client side, which validation we have to go for server side. If you want to, and that means which validation we should achieve in this among three, which validation we should implement by using a client side validation with the help of client side scripting. If you are implementing
user.
with the help of client side scripting called JavaScript, that is called client side validation. To achieve which validation, we have to go for server side scripting called ASP.NET. For that, I'll give you few points here. Right. First, to record the question. When we will go for client side scripting, for a validation question. Are you writing, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you writing? When we will go
Yeah.
for handwritten notes, write all of you. When we will go for client-side scripting to perform a validation. Answer is, whatever explanation I am giving you, that you apply for this. Answer is, listen, record. Answer is, first understand. Whenever particular validation is not depending on any web server and database server, particular validation we can achieve with the help of client-side scriptings. Client-side scriptings. Write the answer. Whenever particular validation. All of you guys, are you writing notes really?
Yes, sir.
Just you are
Sir.
trying to convincing me. Really, are you
No,
writing?
sir.
We are writing, sir.
How many are writing notes? Nowhere in online training a faculty make the student to write a note something on paper. I think only we are implementing this, but it is very effective. Right. Answer is, whenever a particular validation is not depending on web server, and database server, web server and database server, web server and database server. Right. Next question. When we will go for server side scripting, when we will go for server side scripting, when we will go for server side scripting, when we will go for server side scripting for a validation, when we will go for server side scripting for a validation. Answer. Whenever particular validation, whenever particular validation is depending on, whenever particular validation is depending on web server or database server. Whenever particular validation is depending on web server or database server. Whenever particular validation is depending on web server or database server, to achieve that, we will go for server side scripting. Achieve that, we'll go for server side scripting. Okay, right. So I have recorded all of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now come on, Uma, tell me when we will go for client side scripting for a validation.
Whenever a particular validation is not depending on web server and database server.
Or database server.
Oh,
It is not depending
yes, sir.
on any server. It doesn't require to, it isn't depending on servers. So means it is not depending on server means it is can be achieved within the client side. Okay. Right. Next question. Right. Yeah. Teja is there. Teja. Yeah. Right. Arun, tell me when we will go for server side scripting for a validation. When we'll go for server side scripting for a validation.
Whenever particular validation is depending on web server or database server,
Yes.
to achieve that we will go for
server side scripting. Right. Next coming to, yeah, Shiva, you tell me among the above three validations on your login page. Among the above three validations on your login page. Shiva, are you there? Among the above three validations on your login page. Right.
First one is should not be empty, sir. Please.
1 minute. Among these three, which validations are not depending on web server or database server? Among the above three validations, which validations are not depending on database server or web server? It's not required to depend on web server or database server. All of you guys can respond through chat. And yeah, Punya, come on, you tell me orally. Now, Bhaskar, you tell me. Bhaskar, which are among these three, which are not depending on database server or web server? Bhaskar.
Yes, sir. First two are not depending on database. These two are
First two are not depending on any server, any web server or a database server, because first one is what username text box should not be
empty.
Second one is what your password text box should not be
Empty.
To check whether the text boxes are empty or not empty, we don't require to depend on what any servers. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
you can
sir.
within the browser only. That's why to achieve these two validations, we have to go for client side scripting called JavaScript. Okay. Right. Next to coming to guys. Yeah. Among the three, which validation is depending on web server or database server?
The last one.
Third one.
Third one.
Remaining people can respond through chat. Don't sit idle. I hate you people if you are sitting idle. Respond through chat at least for questions. Interaction is, that's why I started make you to write on paper. Everybody, are you using book and pen? Sure?
Yes, sir.
I'll check randomly to your webcam. I'll ask you, come on your webcam. Immediately I'll check your books. Okay? Right, come on, get ready. Which validation is depending on web server or database server among these three?
Third one.
Third one is doing what? Third one is what? Verifying the user ID and password with the
The
database, because you entered some input here. User ID is something, password something. Immediately your logic has to communicate what? Database server and going to the table and checking user ID, password. Both are matched. Okay. So both are matched, then it will redirect you to the next page. If not matched, error message. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. Next, so the third validation. To achieve third validation, is it possible to achieve third validation with the help of client-side scripting?
No, sir.
No, because the
No.
scripting should execute in servers. That's why we have to go for server-side scripting called
ASP dot.
ASP.NET.
ASP.NET. Even though when you are implementing server-side scripting nothing but what? Programming. Server-side scripting is nothing but what? Programming. To write the programming in server-side scripting also, we'll use a language called
ASP.NET.
server-side scripting only. But in ASP.NET to achieve that server-side scripting, we'll use a language called
E sharp.
C#.NET. Remember that because ASP.NET is not a language. There is no programming in that. The programming, if you want to implement that particular server-side scripting also, in ASP.NET, we have a language called what? C#.NET. That C#.NET we'll use. Finally, if you didn't understand about this, just remember client side means JavaScript, server side means ASP.NET. So that is the story. So yeah. For example, I'll give you one simple question. Let's open Facebook. See, observe the people. Let's open Facebook. Let's open Facebook. Right. Let's open what? Facebook. Facebook sign up page. You observe. You enter first name and so on. You see, I click login button, sign up button. One validation. Observed one validation. What is that? First name should not be
Empty.
empty. RN. Yes. Right. It's what's your sign up? What's your last name should not be empty. I said Banda. Right. Next, it's asking phone number. Till the time, how many validations you have seen? Two validations. Two validations. Next, phone number 9866. Okay. For example, I didn't enter phone number. Then it's giving error. Phone number should enter. I entered phone number 9866 immediately. What is this? Please enter a valid number. Means fourth validation. Means it's verifying the number should be maybe 10. Okay. 193194. Right. Matched. Next, re-enter phone number. I entered 123. Or I didn't enter. Immediately one more validation. If I entered, it's saying number should be match. Fifth validation should be match. 9866193194. New password 123. Select your date of birth. Right, some date, some month, some date, some month, some year, and right. Suppose in this, let's say I didn't select any date. Immediately select your date of birth. Okay. I selected some date. Right. I didn't select any month. Select your date of birth. Okay. So you can observe it is validating every drop down list. And I didn't select any year. And again, select your date of birth. Year also it's validating some date, some year. Okay. Now I didn't select radio buttons. Right. Please select your gender. I selected male and I click sign up button. What will happen? If I click sign up button, what will happen? It will. Next is what it is.
Go for database and
It will communicate Facebook database. It will store all my user details into one table called users. Facebook users. Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
How many validations are there here? 1, 2,
2, 3, 4, 5,
3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 plus 11 plus 1. 11
Sign
plus
up.
1. 1 minute. 1 is nothing but what? Storing the user data into database. Once 11 validations are completed, storing my user details into Facebook database. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Among these 12, 11 plus 1, which I can go as a client-side scripting called JavaScript, which I can go as a server-side scripting called ASP.NET C# combination.
All 11. First, all 11.
First 11 I can go as what?
Client-side scripting.
Client-side scripting. And 12th one, better to go with what?
Server-side.
Compulsory you have to go with server-side scripting because it's interacting with database server. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose tomorrow somebody will ask you, can I go 11 also with client server-side scripting?
Yes, but
Yes.
these are like a
1 minute. What? 11. Which
Workload.
validations which you can implement client-side scripting also you can go with what?
Server
server-side.
side.
But when you are implementing scripting, first priority is for client-side or server-side scripting now?
Client-side.
Huh? First priority.
Client-side.
Client-side.
First priority is what? Client-side. Why?
Client side.
Why?
Because of performance.
Why? Because
Reduce the load on the
Running
server.
the server back and forth.
Why? Because so here the question is first priority is client side. Why? Because whenever you are achieving a validation with the help of client side, 1 client side, 2 client side, 3 client side, 4 server side. So for which validation code is communicating web server? Fourth one. Let us assume in general. Fourth one. 1, 2, 3 are executing within the
Yes.
browser, web browser. So
Web browser.
by implementing client-side validation, what we are achieving? We are avoiding the communication to
Server.
Server.
you are avoiding the communication to server. We are avoiding the communication to web server. So finally first priority is for what scripting?
Client side.
Client side scripting.
Last choice, if it is not possible, then we'll go with what?
Server-side scripting.
Finally,
Server
by
side.
implementing client-side scripting, we are avoiding the round trips to
Server.
server.
Interaction.
Improves the performance of the
Application.
and it will reduce the network.
Traffic.
It will reduce the network
Traffic.
and it will reduce the burden on
Yes, sir.
web server. It will reduce the burden on
Web server.
by implementing
Web server.
client-side scripting more. We are achieving number 1, reducing the network traffic
Traffic.
and reducing the round trips to
Server.
server, reducing the burden on
Web
Server.
server.
server. Finally, it improves the performance of the
Application.
application. That is the main advantage of scripting.
Client-side scripting.
First priority for what? Client side or server side?
Client-side.
Second priority, worst case, not possible with client side, go with what? Server side. Even though in your sign up page among 12, how many are client side?
11.
11 are client side. How many are server side?
1.
That's the importance of client side scripting. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I want to achieve client side scripting. How to achieve client side scripting? Already we discussed. How to achieve client side scripting? Come on. Answer is what? By client side scripting technology. Client side scripting technology. That is what? JavaScript. You can go with what? JavaScript. Now, what is JavaScript? Let's enter into JavaScript now. JavaScript. Because, first we will introduce JavaScript. Then we will enter into server-side scripting. Server-side scripting means which will go for which technology? ASP.
ASP.NET.
Right. What is JavaScript? What is JavaScript? What is JavaScript? What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a JavaScript is a client side scripting language or technology. Okay. What we can do by using JavaScript? What we can do by using JavaScript? What we can do by using JavaScript? Using JavaScript. Using JavaScript, we can implement
Client-side scripting.
client-side scripting. Yeah. Why why JavaScript? JavaScript is called client-side scripting.
Because we use the language within the web browser.
Why JavaScript is called client-side scripting technology? Answer. Because it will execute within web browser. It will execute within what? Web browser. The code will execute, JavaScript code will execute within the web browser. Using JavaScript, we can convert static. Already we discussed about this. Scripting is converting static web page to
Dynamic web page.
Features of JavaScript. Features of JavaScript language. Features of JavaScript language. Yeah. What are the features of JavaScript language? Let's find.
Client-side scripting technology.
Features of JavaScript language. Yeah. One is client-side scripting, that is already covered. Client-side scripting. It's a client-side scripting. And second one is, it is a case-sensitive language. It is a case-sensitive language. It is a light case-sensitive means. Did you remember? C#.NET is a case-sensitive or not case-sensitive?
Case sensitive.
Case sensitive.
It is a light weight programming language. It is a lightweight programming language. Why we will call it as a lightweight programming language? You know, syntaxes will be very simple, like no data types, like that. So you will understand that when we are implementing. Okay, client-side scripting, because the code will execute within the web browser, and it is a case-sensitive language, and it is a lightweight programming language. It is a lightweight programming language. Okay, where we can write JavaScript code. Answer. Can you guess where you can write JavaScript code?
In the head section.
Head and bottom.
Notepad, sir.
Direct. Don't go for a direct answer. We can write JavaScript code within a web page. Within a web page, that is HTML web page, that is ASP.NET web page, that is ASP web page, that is PHP web page, PHP web page, that is PHP web page, and so on and so on. So in any web page, when you are developing any web page, if you want to implement client-side scripting, you can write what code? JavaScript code. Right now, our ultimate aim is, right now we are developing at present which web pages?
HTML.
HTML web page. How to add JavaScript code? How to add JavaScript code to a web page? To a web page. To a web page. Normal, general question. Answer is by using script section. Script section like below. That is script language equal to JavaScript and script language equal to JavaScript and close script. Here we have to write which code? JavaScript code. Here we have to write JavaScript code. Here we have to write JavaScript code. Here we have to write JavaScript code. Okay, right. Now my question is, now we are adding JavaScript code first to which web pages at present?
HTML.
HTML.
Right. Right. Structure of HTML web page with JavaScript. Structure of HTML web page with JavaScript. Okay. Right. HTML. Right. What is that? HTML. Right. HTML will contain how many sections? 2 sections. Number 1, head. Number 2, body. Number 2, body. Number 2, what? Body. Number 1, HTML, head. Number 2, body. Come on. So my question is, now your JavaScript section where you will add?
In head section and body.
Head, body, both?
Both.
Yes. Generally, you will add in head more, but you can add JavaScript in both sections. You can add it JavaScript in both sections also, okay, possible. You can add, but remember guys, 99% JavaScript code will write within the head section. 1%, 1 to 2% will write the JavaScript code within the
Body.
Body section, within the body. But this is the structure. Okay guys, where are we up to? What notes I have sent to you? What notes you have received now, just now? You have to go through it first. Up to what you have taken? I didn't remember. You did?
Server side, sir. Server side scripting.
Okay. From here, just you refer one more time. Right. just refer it. While that session is going on, the people who will use pen and paper for small point recording, it will have lot of interactivity to your mind. That will be very effective. Okay, come on. Just go through whatever I have given fast. Here with this we understood that scripting and JavaScript code you can write within the head as well as within the
Body.
body. Right. Received that content? Received all of you?
Yes, sir.
Next.
Yes, sir.
Just when we will add JavaScript in head section. When we will add JavaScript in head section. Answer. Answer. What is that answer? When we will add JavaScript in head section. Answer.
When it's on demand.
Whenever JavaScript we want to execute, required execute what is that? On demand. Next, when we will add JavaScript in body section. When we will add JavaScript in body section. When we will add JavaScript in body section.
When we want to execute it on load.
Yeah. Whenever JavaScript is required to execute
when the page is loading.
Whenever JavaScript is required to execute when the web page is loading. When the web page is loading. Okay, when the web page is loading. Okay, na? So that is the other point. Whenever the JavaScript code is required to execute when the web page is loading. So particular JavaScript we can execute. Okay, we can write within the body section. Did you understand about this point? Very important point it is.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sending to you all of you guys. Repeat one more time. Repeat 2 times. Repeat 3 times. Repeat 10 times. Nothing wrong. I can repeat 1 time, 2 times, but you can repeat 10 times. There is no limit, right? Right. Over. Right. Madhuri, tell me. When we will write JavaScript code, in a, okay. Right. Manasa, tell me. When we will write JavaScript code in head section.
Whenever the JavaScript is required to execute on demand.
So
Whenever JavaScript is required to execute on demand. When you will write JavaScript code within the body section.
Whenever JavaScript is required to execute when the page is loading.
Whenever the JavaScript is required to execute when the page is loading. Okay. So that is the story. All of you guys, whatever notes I have sent to you, just go through it, everything A to Z. Right. So finally we understood one thing, that is, if we want to execute particular scripting when the page is loading, that scripting we can write within the body section. If we want to execute scripting, on demand, we have to write within the
head section.
It's applicable for server side scripting as well as client side scripting. Both scriptings it will be applicable. Remember it. Okay. Right. JavaScript is a language, so there will be some concepts. ఎప్పుడైనా మీరు గుర్తుంచుకోండి, always you remember, if there is a programming language means commonly you will have two concepts. What are they? Compulsory in C language, C++, C#, Java, you will have three concepts. What are they? Variable and method. Variable and function. These two concepts will be there in every programming language. Am I right? Why variable? To store some value. And why function? To define some
Logical.
to define some functionality. JavaScript variable syntax to declare a JavaScript variable where variable name equal to value, variable name equal to value, or variable name equal to, what is that, value. Variable name equal to value. Variable name equal to value. Okay. Either here var is a keyword. We can declare a JavaScript variable with var keyword or without var keyword also. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Don't have any.
Yes, sir.
Right. You can use either C#.NET syntax is what? Data type, variable name, value. Here var keyword, but var keyword is optional. Okay. Now second, JavaScript function. JavaScript function. Right. JavaScript function. Okay. Syntax. Somewhere disturbances are coming. Disturbances. Right. Syntax. Function name. Function name. Here it is what? Logic. Function. Here function is a keyword. Whenever you want to define a JavaScript function, we have to use a keyword called function. Next, JavaScript pop-up boxes. JavaScript pop-up boxes. Number 1, alert. Number 2, confirm. Number 3, prompt. Number 1, alert. Number 2, confirm. Number 3, prompt. Right. How many pop-up boxes?
3
boxes.
Three pop-up box. Alert. Syntax.
Prompt confirm.
Syntax. Alert. Alert. Message. You will get these pop-up boxes always whenever you are using web pages. Sudden pop-up boxes will come. Syntax. Like your browser is not compatible. This type of pop-up boxes you will get. Confirm. Confirm. Message. Message. Next, prompt. Syntax. Syntax. Prompt. Message. Prompt. Message. Message. Okay, so that is the story. Okay, right. How many pop-up boxes you can display?
3.
Number 1.
Alert.
Alert.
Number 2.
Alert.
Confirm.
Number
Confirm.
confirm.
Prompt.
Prompt.
Okay. Right. Now you can observe. You have opened one HTML web page. HTML. Open the brace. HTML. Close the date. Close the date. Close the brace. Body. Close what? Body. Yeah. When the page is loading, I want to execute some scripting. Then the scripting should write within the body or head. When the page is loading, the script should execute. The script should write within the body or head.
Body. In the body.
Within the body. Script. Language equal to JavaScript. Alert. Alert. Hi. Alert hi. Because alert and message. Okay. Save. Save. Let's test dot HTML. Yes. Now you see. Right, you see. Okay. Observed, huh? Whenever you run the page, when the page is loading, body will execute. In body you have, what is that? Script, language equal to JavaScript. Right, browser will understand, oh, it is a JavaScript code. Alert. Is getting alert message is coming or not coming? Alert is coming. How many buttons?
Only one button.
What is that? Oh, okay. For example, in the same place I am writing, just observe introduction, that's it. Confirm. Confirm, you see. Confirm. Okay. Refresh. Confirm, refresh. You can say confirm message. But it is coming with how many buttons? Okay. Second word, cancel. Okay means continue. Cancel means don't continue. Okay. Next prompt. Next word, prompt. 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 Refresh. Observe the prompt is coming with one text box, two buttons. Okay and cancel like this. Okay, na? Just introduce some pop-up messages. Okay guys, next to real actual programming will start in next class. Programming using JavaScript within HTML web page is going to start in next session. Okay, so that is that. But meanwhile, get next will be on Monday. Next session will be task for you. Once we entered into ASP.NET, Monday, maybe Monday one day is enough for this Monday class. Tuesday, your Tuesday, my Wednesday is going to start ASP.NET, our topic. And yeah, we can take a little bit extra, and because ASP.NET will have more big examples, and slowly we can increase the time of the session. And yeah, may take ASP.NET controls, all these things will take only 1 week. After 1 week we'll enter into ADO.NET, and in ADO.NET also you are implementing in ASP.NET only. Now onwards, any topic you take, ADO.NET will be in ASP.NET, Ajax will be in ASP.NET, everything will be on web programming after HTML and JavaScript. Task for you is, last class I asked you to prepare interview questions from which number to which number? C#.
21.
Up to 21, na?
121.
Sorry?
Yes, sir. 121. 114.
Total overall, all you have gone through all.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this time what you do in C#.NET questions, find all differences, question and answers, and write handwritten and send to me. Differences means what? All differences questions. You can observe wherever differences are there. I have prepared table. I prepared what? Table. All differences. For example, value type and
Difference type.
value type, difference type, differences. Parsing and converting. Type of and get type and type of. Overloading and overriding. Abstract class and interfaces. Structure and class. Can you call the value? Call reference. Can you?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
I want from by Monday. Okay. See,
Okay.
who are following, they will get results. Who are not taking care about homeworks, they are the losers. That is, I am a person who can show you a touch. You have to walk. Okay, I will sleep means what can I do? Huh? Right. So all generally differences are very important. Every time I have observed, most of the time in interviews people will ask you differences. Okay, right. Okay guys, come on. We'll meet on Monday with the differences, and Monday we are starting web programming. Sorry, JavaScript programming within the HTML web page. Okay, thank you very much. So, if there are any recordings, you send to me a mail. I'll forward this weekend. Okay, bye. Bye to all. Any communication? Any communication? WhatsApp?
Sir.
Any communication you want, do. I'll be available in WhatsApp and as well as email. WhatsApp, if you are urgent, means WhatsApp, otherwise mail. Okay, thank you. Bye to all.